Well, most of us get annual checkups at the doctor's office. We take our cars to the shop to get looked at, and our computers, though, hardly get the same attention.
Yet they should. In this week's Compute This, the importance of computer maintenance checkups.
That's right. Thor Schrock is the owner of Schrock Innovations, and he joins us every Monday. And he's back today. Computer maintenance. Why do our computers need this regular maintenance?
Okay, well, first of all, let's start from a physical aspect. You know, because you say, why do I need to change the oil in my car? Well, because it gets all icky and broken down, right? Well, in your computer, air is like the oil in your computer. It pulls air into the computer. And when you have a situation like what you see on the screen here, not a lot of air is getting into that computer.
How common is that?
If you don't do maintenance, that's the norm. That's the norm.
That's a severe case.
And that's what you can just see on the outside of the computer. On the inside of the computer, you end up with the fan on the brain.
And there are certain things that the way we live, whether we have pets or smoker at home, that can affect how quickly
all that
builds
stuff.
up.
All that stuff will affect how quickly it builds up. But honestly, some of the dirtiest computers we've ever seen are actually the ones in hospitals. Because that's the one place they never clean. They don't clean the inside of the computer. You know, I was out at Lyle's Discount Tire working on their network, and I mean, it's a tire shop, right? So I mean, you can imagine. I think I got the stains out, but you know, you can imagine. And their computers were actually pretty clean on the inside, and everything else wasn't. But at hospitals, it's the other way around.
So that picture on that screen, how long would it take? I know it depends on the environment a little bit.
It depends on the environment. That one probably was about a year to get that bad.
That's it?
Every 6 months, you really want to have maintenance done, because that's what you can see on the outside, and people will brush it off and say, okay, there we go, it's fixed now. But on the inside, there are fans inside your computer. And they don't just strap a fan on top of a hot thing. They put a little metal radiator on it, and then they strap a fan on that. The metal pulls the heat up, and the fan sucks air up through and pushes it out. Well, all that dust gets sucked into that little radiator, and it starts to stick. And eventually, that whole radiator becomes clogged, just like the filter in your dryer.
Wow. So you clean out, I suspect, all of that grossness that builds up in our computers. What else do you do during a checkup?
Well, we do all the physical stuff. And then once we have it cleaned out, we inspect all the capacitors inside, make sure that none of them are bulging or swelling. We test the power supply. We also go through, scan for malware, viruses. A lot of the stuff that's easy, we can just remove for you automatically. We'll do all your updates, your Windows updates, updates for Adobe Flash, Adobe for Java, Reader, all these common programs you have on your computer. We'll get all those done for you. And we test the hard drive and test the memory. Now, the big thing with preventative maintenance, it really is preventative maintenance. It's like when you go to see the doctor to get a physical, you're trying to see if there's something wrong so that it can be treated. Well, preventative maintenance, you can actually stop things from going wrong by bringing it to the computer doctor. Basically, we go in there and we see something happening early on, like a hard drive that's in the process of failing but hasn't gotten bad enough yet that you would see it. We can warn you about that. So instead of paying a $1,000 data recovery, you're paying for a $200 hard drive replacement. And you can catch those things, and you have time then to budget them in. So you're not. It's not always. It always happens at the worst time. The refrigerator dies, the car breaks down, and then your computer goes.
There's never a good time for that. So what do you bring in? So if you want to get a maintenance checkup, you bring the tower, you bring the whole thing, just dump it on your desk, or you have to make.
This is important because we are going to be incredibly busy because we have them on special for $19.99 this week. Normally they're $80, 75% off. So when you bring in the computer, if it's a desktop tower, no power cords, no discs, nothing required. The only time you want to bring anything extra is if you have like a printer and you're having trouble with the printer, obviously bring the printer. If you have a laptop, we do prefer you to bring your power cord though, because sometimes the problem is in the power cord itself.
So that special is good for how long?
We don't set a firm end date on it. What ends up happening is if you bring your computer in today, like right now today, we announced this on the radio yesterday, if you bring it in today, your turnaround time will still be 1 to 2 business days to get it done. If you wait till the end of the week to bring your computer in, it'll be more like 5 or 6 days without your computer. I know that's a long time to go. It is on special for $20. It's $19.99.
That's 75% savings.
It takes 8 hours
if I go to a department store and all skirts in the store 75% off, I'm getting excited. So this is how I equate that to what you do.
I'm kind of feeling like my jacket's a little too conservative for the show today. You know, I thought maybe I need something a little more sharp.
Am I showing? I keep pulling my skirt down. I feel like I'm showing too much leg. So how busy do you expect you'll get? You've done this sale before.
Yes.
You don't do it very often, though.
No, we do it twice a year. This is the last one you're going to see till probably late spring of next year. And how busy do we get?
Yeah.
Last year we took in 1,700 computers in a 2-week period.
1,700?
Between all 3 service centers, we have
Wild.
roughly 100 bench spots, and it takes 8 hours to complete each computer.
Right, well, the fact that you can turn it around in 5 or 6 days, that's a tall order right
And
there.
speaking to the value again, would you do anything for 8 hours and only get $19.99 for it?
I
Like if
don't-
I work an 8-hour day here,
I
I
don't think
better
you can
make more
find
than 20
manual
bucks.
laborers on Craigslist to do
Or
stuff for
better
that
than-
price.
Right.
Precisely.
right,
So what
right.
are we talking about here? Is it just laptops, PCs, Macs, other
We
brands?
can do it to everything. Now, some of the tests that we do on PCs can't be done to Mac because they work a little bit differently. But when it comes down to it, they all use the same stuff. They're using the same fans, the same memory, the same processors, similar boards by similar companies. You know, keeping them clean and maintenance and updated is important no matter what kind of computer you have. And this is an opportunity to bring it in for $19.99, get us to work on it, make sure everything is okay. Even the best thing you can hope for is we call you back and say, hey, everything looks great. Come pick it up. It's good to go. If we have a problem that we find, the thing at Schrock Innovations is we don't call you and say, okay, here's the problem. You brought it in for an oil change and now you need a new muffler. You know, it's
Yeah.
not like that. What we do is we give you options. We say, listen, this is what's happening with your computer. You've got about this much time before it becomes a real issue. If you don't plan on fixing this computer, if you were thinking about replacing it, run this one into the dirt. Just make sure you've got a good backup.
Yeah.
And then when it dies, just come in and buy a new one from
Back
us,
up all
and
that
we'll
information.
move that information over for you.
Well, I'm mortified by that picture we saw earlier because we've had our PC for probably 3 years or
And you've
so.
never-
I've
never had a
not
maintenance
one-
check.
Not one, so I
we
would
have
be
seen
scared.
some pretty crazy stuff inside
I'll come in
computers.
disguise with a hat and some sunglasses and a mustache or something
No, the
on,
worst
so
is
you don't
when
know
people
it's
bring
me.
their computers in and they set them on the counter and then they're embarrassed about the dust. And
Right.
tell us we see it every day. It's not a
Yeah.
big deal.
Right.
And then they start brushing the dust out on the counter, and you're like, we take that outside to blow it out. You know, can you
leave
just
it
leave the
there.
dust in the
Oh,
computer?
man alive.
All right, right there, SchrockInnovations.com, $20 that maintenance
That's
special.
incredible.
That's 75% off the regular price. It's a good deal, Schrock.
And it's good at all 3 locations. If you are nearest the South, Village Point South location, great. Maybe you live in Papillion, they're at Highway 370 and 72nd Street. And the original Schrock Innovations location is in Lincoln. Online at SchrockInnovations.com, and make sure to keep an eye on them on Facebook because this deal is good, but they're always putting great deals on Facebook too. Thor, thanks for being here today.
Hey, thanks for
We'll see
having
you
me,
Monday.
guys.
We'll see you on Labor Day.
We'll see you
You're
then. We'll be
working on
closed Labor Day, but I
You'll be
will be
closed.
here.
You'll be
Yeah.
here.
And I'm sure we'll have some employees struggling to come in and catch up on maintenance checkups while the phones
right.
are quiet.
Listen,
Right. Some
a good
downtime.
thing though.